Yo, what's going on, guys? Javier here with Minimalist Tech. Today, I've got the Xbox Series S in-house. I've seen a lot of mixed reviews on it, so I figure I'd check it out. I want to see the real pros and cons of this system and how it compares to the last generation, as well as a mid-tier gaming PC. I want to share my experience with using the system itself and if it's worth the $299 price tag. The unboxing experience is pretty minimal. This is some sort of Fortnite and Rocket League version. I've never played Rocket League, but I think it's just some sort of credit or something. Opening this up, it's pretty simple, really. Just the system, cables, controller, and that's it. Off the bat, this thing is tiny, and I love it. The beauty of the size is that it fits into any almost setup, whether it be a desk setup, a TV setup, or both. I say both because it's so small, it's easy enough to just move it. The system comes in white, like the last Gen 1S, with a matching controller. It's sleek, small, with a minimal look. You can lay the system flat or have it upright like most systems. For me, this system is a total win. It'll fit aesthetically into any setup. With only half a terabyte of storage, some folks might have an issue, especially since this is a digital-only system. In everyday use though, the SSD smokes my previous Xbox One S for load times, and it's similar to my gaming PC. Depending who you are, this is huge. If you're like me with limited free time, more time playing versus waiting is huge. After OS and updates, there's about 360 gigabytes of usable space, which is fine, really. I personally don't swap between a lot of games at a time. I usually pick one or two and stick with it till I'm done. You can expand the storage of the system, of course, but the proprietary card is the cost of the system, so I'm not sure that's the way I'd go. It's likely best to just snag an external SSD and format it for the Xbox. A popular game like Warzone is definitely the biggest space eater. With this, you'll be hard pressed for space, but again, I'm a one or two game type of guy, so this works. The first thing I did after OS updates was jump into Game Pass. This was the first time on Game Pass in over a year, and honestly, it's improved a lot. The selection is better than great. I've been really into Forza Horizon 5 lately, and the campaign for Halo Infinite was awesome. They've got some good classics too, like Skate from the Xbox 360 days, and the newer remastered Skyrim. I'm a huge fan into keeping things simple, even when it comes to tech and gaming. Game Pass is a breeze. Downloading and installing takes a good chunk of time, so I always plan that out ahead of time. So I'll usually do installations overnight or right when I get home from work. That being said, you could still do Game Pass on the last generation console, but it simply works better on the Series S. If I'm not mistaken, the resolution is upscaled on 4K displays, but more on that later. Quick Resume is totally sweet. Honestly, this is one of those things I wish PC had. Maybe it exists, but it's not something I've spent the time to figure out. If you have any suggestions, please leave a comment. I'd love to hear about it. If you're enjoying this type of video, be sure to leave a like and a sub. It really helps the channel grow. Now, talking about the digital only, I can say this was my only gripe about the system. It's definitely the biggest trade-off with having a smaller system, but that's okay. The simplicity of borrowing a game from a friend is easily missed. Gone are the days where you could snag a game from Blockbuster, pop in the disc, and just go. My distaste for not having a CD drive dissipated really quick for the sheer speed and benefits of the SSD and Quick Resume. I actually had no idea it would Quick Resume after powering off the system as well. That felt super next gen to me. Again, if you're okay buying digitally or using Game Pass, you'll do just fine. While there's no used games to buy, there are sites that you can get Microsoft points at a discount. I think this is the only real way to save unless games go on sale. I originally bought this to play at my desk on my 120Hz ultra-wide, but I didn't think to check if there was ultra-wide support. Turns out there isn't. That's totally my fault for not checking. I'm definitely going to make a dedicated Xbox desk setup and video when I snag a compatible monitor. Stay tuned for that. The Series X or my gaming PC will do 120Hz at 4K, but not this guy, just another small limitation. But jumping into this on my living room and basement 4K TVs is still an absolute pleasure. Honestly, unless you're incredibly conditioned for 4K gaming or comparing side by side, you'll have a great experience with the upscaled resolution. The system is definitely next generation in providing a consistent experience. If you're on an older gen or an old PC, this is 100% a good step forward, especially for the price. Now, talking about everything else, this is amazing for any home setup. It has all the most popular streaming apps like Netflix, Disney+, Prime, and so on. Interestingly enough, even though you're capped at 2K gaming, streaming services will output a true 4K. For anyone considering an Apple TV, Chromecast, or others, this could be a great alternative. I'm not huge into specs. I never care to go deep into them. There's probably hundreds of other videos talking about specs, but if I'm trying to make a comparison, I'd probably put this at maybe a mid-tier PC or maybe a little bit beyond that. Although I'm a little out of touch with the PC space these days, the only spec that really matters is your user experience. Are you good with this resolution at this FPS? Great, that's all that truly matters. Compared to previous generations, you still win. If you're trying to decide between PC or Xbox, that depends. I've always loved the relaxing experience of couch and controller. You legit plop down and get going. That being said, I've been almost exclusively a PC gamer for the last 10 years. If I wanted to try harder and be more competitive, I could hook up a compatible high refresh monitor and really focus. This is my wife's mid-range PC. If I spec this out today, it would run me about $1,100 Canadian. That isn't to say there isn't a load more benefits to having a dedicated PC. These days, I'm leaning towards consoles being more chill, but that's just me. Sometimes I move my Xbox just because I feel like it, and that's awesome. Having a second set of cables makes this a breeze. Ultimately, it comes down to what you can get your hands on. PC components can be a pain to get, whereas it seems Amazon or Walmart has these ready and in stock. Overall, the Series S is great. I love base models of tech. Most of the time, it's truly good enough for us. Companies do a great job at showing us all the bells and whistles, but what really matters is just being able to have a good experience, which this definitely gives. Building a PC has its rewards, but finding a GPU sucks. Building it takes time and effort, which sucks. Pre-built markup sucks. Plus, anything will likely cost more than $299. This system is obtainable, simple, minimal, and powerful. If you're on anything old gen, you win. As a PC gamer, I had incredibly low expectations going in, but honestly, I might have been won back over to the console side. For now, I'll be chilling with the Series S with Game Pass. Anyways, that's been it. Thanks for watching. Till next time.